Welcome to the Vinny Rock Podcast.
Much more than this, I did it my way.
Hey, what's going on? It's the Vinny Rock Podcast. We are outside in nature today, doing this at Michael Broderick's house. Now you got. Yeah. I always ask people how they like to pronounce their name, and because I guess that's an insecurity of like messing that up. And Broderick.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Michael Broderick.
Yeah, baby.
My man's with me right now. Let's go over the podcast Let's go over the podcast sponsors real quick, and then we'll jump into the podcast with my man Mike here. You already mentioned it, Willie Peach Chocolate. You're really a fan.
Yeah, dude, totally. My man knows he sees some Los Angeles on that shipping label. He knows it's coming to me.
Dude, it's so cool, man, because he jumped on the podcast early on, and I try to explain to people, man, it's like, look, if you like chocolate, if you like spice, it's a really cool kind of thing, and the fact that he does it out of his house, the fact that, everything about it, it's really, really quality chocolate, and so I enjoy it. Did you see what we're going to be doing, me and him?
The smoky sauce.
Yes, the hot sauce.
Can't wait.
Dude, I'm pumped. I'm waiting for him to give me the thumbs up so I can say, go buy now. And I think it's available here soon. Once he tells me, game on. You guys got to go try it. If I have to say what it kind of sounds or kind of tastes like, I think it's like a smoky is exactly it, but it's like I think like an A1 steak sauce kind of, but it's not a steak sauce.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man, I can't wait to try it.
Will tried it and loved it. Will, my tattoo artist, Will XX.
Okay.
And he loved it, which made me like, oh, okay, well, maybe we got something here. So I got pretty excited about it. You guys go check them out. Willie Peach Chocolates.
Hey, before we move on.
Yeah.
I just got to say, I tried that new peanut butter MRE bar.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
No way.
I'm a peanut butter guy, man. So yeah. And what was the one with the Pop Rocks? I forget what it's called, man. It's another one of my favorites.
He does
good
all
stuff.
Kind of crazy stuff. Yeah,
dude.
We had the Moab, dude. And Chris,
I've never done any of the really hot ones.
You got to try one, though.
Sorry if we spend too much time on Willie Peach
No,
Chocolate,
I'm not
but I
worried about
really
it.
am a fan here.
That's good, man. No, and it doesn't bother me at all, man. I get nervous that my sponsors bore people, and you were like, no, man, it's cool.
No, dude, I love listening to your sponsors.
That's good.
Yeah, you got to give them love, bro.
You got to give them love, man. They're what keeps the lights on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So thanks for Willie Peach Chocolate.
For
They're
sure.
awesome.
You guys check them out. I mean, that's cool. That's a real life, what do they call
endorsement?
Endorsement.
Hell yeah.
I've been doing TRT.
Yeah.
I've been doing that, and you can see there's been a big difference in my life.
Absolutely, yeah.
Super happy about that. That's with a Core Medical Group. I got brought onto them because they were doing a study about veterans, and they did 40 different veterans they did blood testing with, and it was 39 of them needed TRT. And so it's been cool, man. We get all kinds of feedback from other veterans out there that said that they were curious about it. They didn't want to be the guinea pig, so they were happy that I was.
Yeah.
And then to see that they're having so much positives from just working with them, and it's discreet. And that's a cool thing. You don't have to feel embarrassed about it. You can go do your blood test, come home, and then once they get all the reads back, they send what you need directly to your house.
Yeah, I actually spoke to the folks over at Core Medical.
Did you?
Yeah, several months ago, and I told myself if they were very informative, the fellow I talked to, by the way, and kind of pointed me towards all the right information.
Yeah.
And when I told myself, okay, if I go for my 50-year physical, because I just turned 50, last October, and my hormones are jacked, I'm going to go hit them up, but. Doc said I'm good to go.
You're good to go?
I was like, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
Yeah, I don't need to mess around with anything.
Don't mess with it unless you need it, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, I was thinking, I was kind of thinking like, okay, you're 50, got to stay in shape, so there are definitely benefits to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but dude, you look good.
Oh, thanks.
You're
man.
in shape.
That.
You're in shape. Yeah. Like I want your body.
Well, dude, I've always been a little guy. I'm a little guy. You're a big guy.
Too big.
No. I'm just saying, you just got a bigger frame than me. I've always been kind of slight, so I always had to kind of double up.
I ran into a guy at the gym today, and he was like, hey, you're Vince, right? And I was like, yeah. He goes, damn, you're big as hell. And I was like, is that a good compliment or a bad one? Because in high school I was small, so I think a lot of people who haven't seen me in 20 years. That's what it's been, 20 years. I had a 20-year reunion recently.
Yeah.
But he was just like, dude, we were all so skinny, you know. And he's big himself. Like the dude's just a muscle man. But he was like, yeah, everyone kept telling me that you're big, but when I finally run into you, I'm like, dude, you're big. And I was like, oh, cool, man, I appreciate it. And I felt good in the gym today too. I had a little pump before he saw me too, so a little extra pump action, you know, feeling good.
So let me give props to Core Medical Group because they gave me everything that I needed to know to make my decision. You know what I mean? And that's
what
I really
you know.
Appreciate it.
People don't realize that it's they're not going to give it to you unless you need it.
Right.
Like plain and simple, they won't. If you do your blood test and like you don't need it, good. That's good for you. It's good for you to know that. Only if you need it, they're gonna send you what you need. You guys go check out Core Medical Group. Let them know that Rocco sent you. And boom, I got several other sponsors, man. It's funny because I have so many. I don't have so many, but I forget my own companies sometimes when I talk about them. But
Lead Slingers Whiskey.
Lead Slingers Whiskey.
Come on, man.
Dude, Lead Slingers Whiskey. That's the one, like Lead Slingers Whiskey, Warfighter Tobacco, Beard.com.
Yeah.
Those are actually my personal brands, and I never talk about them, and I should. So right now, we'll do that. We're in California right now. If you're in California, you can find Lead Slingers Whiskey at Total Wine. If you're in Texas, you can find Lead Slingers Whiskey at Specs. Any Specs in Texas. Specs is crazy. Have you ever been to a Specs in Texas?
No.
That place has everything. Specs also has Warfighter Tobacco.
Outstanding.
Which is crazy. So you guys are out there. Guys, don't forget to check out some of my own brands. Warfighter Tobacco, Lead Slingers Whiskey, and Beard.com, beard products. If you guys are asking which one smells the best, I think they all smell great. But for me, what I wear currently is Grandpappy's. It's kind of a tobacco spice scent.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really cool scent, and I love it. So you guys don't forget those. GMR Gold. Have you seen them?
Dude, I've been tracking that. You know, always you talk about it on your show, and then, you know, I've seen like your Instagram posts about it and stuff. It looks cool, man. It looks awesome.
It's cool, man. The other day, my daughter, she opened her package, right? So each month, they're all kind of like, who's getting which one. So this one was my daughter, and it turned out to be 12 pieces of silver. And she was like, what is this? And I was like, look at it. You know, like, let's research.
Judas.
Yeah, so I'm like,
you get your 12 pieces of silver, right, for betraying the Lord.
And I told her, I said, read up on it. Let's Google it. You know what I mean? So it's some kind of interactive way of just doing something different for the kids. They're never going to be a part of something like that. It's so different, like
yeah, dude,
silver,
really
gold, and like jewels, and it was cool. The one my son opened up and had like pirates kind of booty, you know?
Like little doubloons.
Dude, it was so rad.
That's
and he's
awesome.
like, whoa! And I was like, those are yours, man.
You immediately go and sit down and watch the Goonies.
Yeah, dude, exactly, exactly. And I told him, like you know, I put their name on the bag, and then we just put it away, and it's theirs. Like whatever happens in the future, that's their pieces of silver,
nice.
whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's been good. You guys go check them out. That's GMR Gold. They're going to be uploading a new website here soon that's going to give a lot more information, and when that is launched, we'll post it. And it's just he's just trying to make sure people are informed and understand the world of precious metals, you know. And it's pretty cool. It's an interesting thing to me, and I started it just as an investment to just put money away somehow, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now it's turned into a whole thing with the family. So it's been cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. You guys don't forget, we also have Beyond Clothing. Man, they're so busy, those guys. I'm trying to do a marketing shoot with Beyond Clothing. And our schedules haven't lined up yet, but I'm trying to do a marketing shoot with me and Christy, you know, out there in Utah in the snow.
Yeah,
Well, now it's the summer, but that's what we've been trying to do because I love Beyond Clothing. Have you ever seen any of their clothes?
You know what? I've been meaning to take a look at them. I've heard you talk about them many times, and my favorite pair of pants right now, I got like 3 different colors of the same kind, you know, same cut of this cool, you know, you familiar with them? But I hear that it's a great alternative as well if you're looking for something else. So
exactly.
I'm going to check them out.
Yeah, if you like cools, you'll like them.
All
guaranteed. You know, it costs some good amount of money, but at the same time, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think that's funny, you're a cool wearer. Like I used to wear those all the time too. Like that's where it's at. But then I found Beyond Clothing, and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
All right, I'm going to check it out.
There you go. All right, guys, let's get to the podcast. Dude, so it's funny when we first met. Where did we first meet? Didn't we meet at one of the the Vegas thing?
Shot show.
And I think it was probably
first shook hands. And,
it was like a Range 15 premiere thingy. Yeah, like crazy though, right?
We, I think my wife and I were actually doing some interviews for We Are the Mighty.
Yeah,
and I think that might have been the first time we said hello.
Right out front, right?
Yeah,
right out front before we walked in, right?
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I seen you, and then I was like, man, I know him, but I don't know him, right? And I remember that. And then, it's probably almost 2 years later, I'm here in LA doing Mayans, and you reached out, and or somehow we just kind of connected, right?
I sent you a message. I said, hey, dude, you're in LA, man. Why don't we sit down and have a bite?
Yeah.
Because I was tracking what you were doing.
Yeah.
I really respected what you guys were able to do with Range 15. And,
it's crazy.
Generating all that the money to make your own thing. Man.
Yeah.
That's huge. And so I said, I want to get a peek inside this guy's head, man. And plus, look. You just gotta. I think I told you this when we sat down, man. You got this energy about you, man. That's just infectious, And I was like, sometimes you want to grab a hold of something like that. I said, let me sit down with this guy and see what he's about. Look him in the eye and say, what's up, And so I think we went to like Cantor's Deli or something.
Yeah.
Right?
No. We went to I don't know what it is. It had.
We had
burgers.
Oh, that's right, bro. I brought you to Plan Check.
It was good.
It was right near Cantor's Deli. Best burger in LA.
I would say it was good. Yeah.
Plan Check. I get the chef's favorite, everybody. Chef's favorite at Plan Check.
But you get yours almost raw.
Well, look, it is what it is, bro. If it ain't still mooing, I ain't chewing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was like, wow, that thing is...
I don't get it that rare.
No, man, but that was cool because for me, it seems like in the space there's not a big team player mentality sometimes. I think acting gets stressful for all of us, and I think a lot of people are really worried about their own ticket, and I get that, right? There's a part of me, I get that, but it wasn't like that with you, right? You were very welcoming and like, hey, anywhere I can help you, and you've actually been one of my my mentors in acting. You know what I mean? You're one of the guys I go to. Well, you know that. I mean, whose manager do I have? Yours.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean? And it makes sense for me because, like, if you trust them, then I know I'll trust them. You've been very genuine with me. But at the same time, there's tons of guys in the space of acting. There's not a lot of veterans in the space of acting. So,
right. There's a lot of us. But,
there is.
There's still a lot of folks still making their way. I'm fortunate to have had some success.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think all those guys, everyone's doing it, but like some of the bigger names, I feel like it's tough. It's tough to, like, I've asked questions sometimes, and some guys it's just like it's hard to really get in and get that help. But at the same time, it's like you kind of got to do it yourself too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
it's that space where the work will prove itself. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it is. Your resume is really how well you act on screen, and you got to put in the work. So it was interesting to me, man. I've had guys reach out to me and ask for help, and I do my best to do the same as you've done for me. And it's cool to see what you did. Your show just ended, right? The season ended.
True Detective.
But it ended just.
I think March.
Yeah.
So
and then
a couple months.
And that was a good run.
Yeah, dude, that was my first heavy recurring, and that was what a treat that was to work on that. And look, HBO just puts out quality product, man, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
But to work alongside, two-time Academy Award-winning actor Mahershala Ali and Stephen Dorff. And
did you get nervous at all?
Nervous? No. But respect. You know what I mean? Like, there was a moment when we were shooting where I just said, "Man, this is it, bro. This is like I'm locking eyes and trading impulses with one of the best. I mean." Absolutely one of the best actors of our time right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Mahershala is just crushing it.
So
talented.
You ever, during a scene, mess up a line and then feel like pressure, like, oh, shit?
No, not really. It was unlike typical episodic here, in LA, which moves so fast.
Right.
And you really got to just be on top of your game. Like, not that I wasn't on top of my game for that.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere was a little more like a film set, not as, we were still moving fast, but it was, everybody was much more relaxed, so there wasn't that kind of pressure. If you flub a line, whatever, just get it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I didn't run into any of that.
Because I feel a lot of pressure. Like, no, but I study, like, I think every actor, is very professional, and so they know their lines and everything else, but, there's sometimes these moments where, like, one person messes up, and then it kind of creates this. The helicopter going overhead right now. Give me one second.
We're outdoors, people. We're outdoors.
We're in it. We got ghetto birds chasing people right now in the heart of LA. Very common sound for me growing up out here skating sometimes, getting chased by helicopters.
Yeah, man.
But it's a funny thing where, like, if someone messes up, then it kind of starts that pattern, and someone else messes up, and then the scene starts getting like, come on, guys, shake it off. Shake it off.
Yeah, it's like trying not to laugh at a funeral. All of a sudden, everyone's just like, oh,
man,
dude.
we had a scene, dude, that I was like, It's the first time I've ever jumped out of character and just laughed, and I was so nervous. I'm going to get in trouble for that. But like, there's no real trouble. It's just like, all right, let's go, do it again.
Yeah,
but,
you gotta, I'm trying to. I know I've had a moment like that on set before. I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but it was one of those moments where even the director's laughing. He's like, all right, come on, we got work to do. All right, the clock's running.
It was funny. Let's go.
Yeah. Somebody's got to take charge. There's a bunch of children.
That's what it is sometimes, though. Especially like on the Mayans, it's just crazy, man. But no, that's cool, dude. And I always wonder how different sets would be, like in our set and your set and everything else. And since it's here we go, another helicopter.
It's all right.
They're chasing someone though.
They don't even hear it.
Yeah,
they can barely hear it. We're talking right over that.
Nah, we're good.
All right.
Yeah, but in acting, I've asked you for a lot of advice and everything. But let's get back to how did you get into acting? I know you've done a lot of voice. And is that how you started?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I broke in. Was when I was leaving. I played music before this.
We're going to get into that after that.
And when I was leaving, when I quit my band after several years, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. But it was, like we talked about over pizza today, it was one of those leaps where I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll do something.
Yeah.
So I just knew I didn't want to do that anymore.
Right.
So I left that, and my wife was like, why don't you try voiceover? And I was like,
how does she know about voiceover?
Well, she had just started her career in advertising.
Yeah.
And
a lot of commercials have voiceovers.
Yeah, of course. And so she was like, it's good work if you can get it,
Yeah.
And so I took a series of classes with a fellow by the name of Stuart Dillon in New York.
Nice.
And at the final class, he brought in an agent from Abrams Artist Agency to like critique us. You know? And he was very complimentary, and we all went out, the whole class went out to the bar that was downstairs, and then we hung out, and he gave me his card. He's like, come see me, and they signed me. Basically, I got signed right out of class.
No shit.
And then...
you have a distinct voice. Where's it? What's the kind of the accent you have? Where are you from?
I'm from Jersey.
From Jersey, so it's kind of that Jersey.
Yeah, but even, everybody says, oh, you from Jersey?
Yeah, so you're like Good Will Hunting.
No, that's Boston,
oh,
man.
Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I try to flatten it out as much as possible. I try to talk like a newscaster, speak like a newscaster, whatever. Which is funny because even in North Carolina, I was stationed in North Carolina when I was in the Corps, and the newscasters there talk like where I was from, I was like, what's that? The local dude is all like, this is Phil Thomas with, and everybody's like, man, that guy just said there's a fire down at, but anyway, so I started doing voiceover, and the first gig I got that was substantial was, I was the voice of Arm & Hammer, Arm & Hammer, like baking soda and all that shit, for about 4 years, and that I started making a living right away.
Do you remember any of those lines?
Oh my God, I was the little, it was like the logo of Arm & Hammer, and it had like a head, and, whatever. And it was, for this one thing, it was this refrigerator box. It was like, it's the difference between yuck and yum. that was
and that's the voice you use for it.
It was like, new Arm & Hammer, whatever box it was, it was kind of like a higher pitched thing. It was a little tiny.
Yeah, so you're the character.
Yeah, I was the character. Yeah. And that ran for about 4 years, man. And like, that was one of my first gigs, and I'm like, this is easy. So you buy like 30 guitars. And then, I was like a 17-year-old basketball prodigy, And so, that's how it started. And then, the money goes away when that campaign goes away. So, that was my first lesson, kind of try to manage your money a little bit there, Junior.
Yeah, no joke, man. That's 4 years success, and you're thinking like, easy money next, and then you don't land anything for a while that pays like that.
But it's not like that.
Yeah, nothing that pays like that.
And even today, with the commercial work, voiceover work, it's like you have to land 3 of those, 4 of those to make the same money you were,
things have changed, right, with unions and everything else?
Yeah, but it's also, there's a lot of things that have gone on. One, I think, is from my unprofessional opinion, is that, like, I was also the voice of Pennzoil for several years. And that they get, you'd get a 13-week buyout for cable, and they'd play the crap out of it on, all the sports channels like ESPN or the Speed Network, and play the crap out of it. But they can play as much as they want for 13 weeks for one fee. Yeah. Whereas, and then maybe they'd play it when the Indy 500 came around. You play it on Class A, which is like ABC, NBC, CBS, and that's where your money is because they got to pay every time that it airs on ABC. Good. So if you a lot of car commercials, stuff like that, those guys are making mint or women, and But for Pennzoil, it was like it didn't get a lot of Class A play.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't as much. But even now, it's like they can saturate cable for a small fee.
Yeah.
And spend less on.
It reminds me of like kind of what isn't like don't digital shows pay kind of upfront and that's all you get, right?
Yeah. It's like the streaming services, you don't get residuals.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing that I think I didn't realize we got residuals as on FX, right? I just didn't know, and all of a sudden this check shows up, and me and Chris was like, "What is this?" I was like, "I don't know. I got to call someone and see what this is." Like, no, it's residuals. I'm like, for what? And then like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. I'm like, no way, dude. And that's where I was like, okay, maybe this is a good career.
Yeah, it's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. Good work when you can get it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So as voiceovers, I mean, your biggest successful one you think was your first one?
Money-wise, absolutely. Yeah. And it was great because with the Arm & Hammer, with the I guess what you would consider like housekeeping stuff.
Yeah.
They played it all day long during the soap operas.
Oh, yeah.
And during Oprah and all that stuff back when she had a show. So it was all that Class A play.
Right.
And so I was making bank
It's
on
huge.
that. Yeah, it was big.
Have you done any animated films or animated series or anything?
I haven't done any animated films, but I've done a couple of video games. I did. I was the voice of Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, in what was the Fantastic Four? Rise of the Silver Surfer. which I'm sorry to say, it just wasn't that good a game. But it was fun. It was my first video game gig, and then I did voices I voiced Navy SEAL Tick in Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Yeah,
that was awesome. It's so funny though because you hear my voice. I don't have like this giant voice or anything.
Yeah,
but I just use my regular voice, and they put me in this tank. There's like this guy who's just huge, and I'm like, I don't know if that
fits. I don't know if it matches.
but that was great because Medal of Honor, man, has been one of my favorite franchises.
And didn't you also do a audiobook?
Yes, I did.
You did, right?
Yeah, it's for Sean Jensen, who's a Marine sergeant who came out of the foster care world. And now he's running like a multi-million-dollar environmental company. So it's called Sergeant to CEO, and it talks about his trip from the foster care world up through the Marine Corps, and then becoming his own boss and just really just crushing it.
Yeah, I gotta actually connect you with my cousin. One of my cousins wants to do voiceovers, and he had all these questions. I'm like, bro, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like you talked about acting before. Everybody's got their own journey,
Yeah.
Certainly not everybody's going to come out of a class and get signed, right there. I didn't even have to make a demo until I'd been doing it like 2-3 years, because I already had an agent. So that, usually you use a demo to get an agent, and I don't think I've updated my reel in 10 years.
But you still get gigs. Right?
It's slowed down, Maybe I should do a new demo.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah.
No, but a lot of commercial work's going non-union now, which is a shame. But it is what it is.
So maybe you can answer that question because you're union as an actor.
Yeah.
You have to also do union voiceovers.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it actually hindered me a bit as an actor because I was already union because of my voiceover work, and then
so you couldn't do independent work.
No, I couldn't do like little low budget stuff that would have like helped me learn.
All kinds of
stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
You learn a ton just being on set.
Yeah,
and I couldn't take a lot of the jobs that people were saying, "Hey, man, you'd be great for my little thing." That's non-union, but whatever. But I couldn't do it because I was already SAG.
Yeah, I didn't think about the opposite side. of that.
My first gig was on 24.
No shit.
Yeah, that was like my very first gig was a union gig, 24.
You haven't done any other acting before, just maybe classes
studying, yeah. And I spent some time on set, and actually I got that gig on 24 because I was on set as a part of a military advisory team.
Yeah.
And we were we do special ability stuff like that, and they give you a decent rate, for the day. And I just happened to, somebody got fired on set, and I was already SAG, so I could read for the role, and they had about 12, 15 of us read for the role, and
you got it.
Yeah, I booked it right there. But I had been studying.
Yeah. No,
so,
you've put in the work.
Yeah,
definitely put in the work, and that's. So you were saying the military advising. So you were in the military. How many years?
Just 4 years.
And you were
Marines.
Yeah.
So I was served in a support role, which is I don't know. You wonder. You asked why I reached out to you. I think it's still in me, like I served in a support role then. I like to say I continue to serve in a support role now. You know, like I like to help other veterans out and
no, for sure.
Just out of respect for doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, but you yourself are kind of a leader in the world of veterans and acting right now, like currently. You know what I mean? There's veterans. There's a lot of veterans out there, I'm saying, but right now I think you're one of the bigger names that do reach out and do kind of help others. You know what I mean? I know I'm not the first guy you've ever helped.
Sure, there's several. I mean, there's a lot of them, but I'm happy that you think of me that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. I always like to. I think you're the dude I go to bounce dumb shit off of. If I'm like, hey, am I an idiot? Am I an idiot? Am I wrong? You know?
Nah, dude, all good.
So acting. So your first role, like, you weren't nervous then?
Oh, I was nervous as hell. Dude, I think my voice was way up here. I was like, hi, this is my voice. I'm a Marine colonel. You know? Yeah. It was like, no, that's the role I was playing. I was a corporal when I was in the Marines.
Yeah, but you're a Marine colonel.
Yeah. And I had to brief the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
And you got lines, right?
Oh, yeah, I got lines. They threw me in front of a camera, and I'm like, all of a sudden, you know, like Sidney Brady with Baton Rouge. But no, it was fine. It went fine. Actually, Peter McNichol is an actor who's been around for years.
Yeah.
He's a very talented actor. He was in the cast at that point, and I remember when the director brought me out and introduced me to the cast, just saying, "Okay, this is Michael," because everybody's waiting. I mean, that person got fired, and they're just sitting on set waiting to do the scene. And they, you know, did this whole thing with the auditions and everything, and just brought me out. Here's Michael. He's going to read this role, and I was kind of nervous. And Peter McNichol we locked eyes for a second, just kind of gave me this like. Little nod, you know, like, you got this.
You got it.
And it was like, kind of helped me take the air out of everything and just settle in a little bit. So I'm always, I'll always remember that. And
that's one of those moments in your career that you're always going to remember, I guess, right?
Yeah, I certainly remember, because, you know, when you're drowning, man, you want somebody to throw you a lifeline, and that was it for me.
Man,
and it allowed me to settle and then just get in front of the camera and deliver.
So what are some of the other roles you've done that you're really proud of or enjoyed, or just maybe something completely different? You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of my roles are the same, man.
Yeah.
I'm always carrying a gun, you know, whether I'm a cop or a soldier or a Marine or FBI, whatever. But my favorite role, I mean, look, nothing beats True Detective right now.
Yeah.
But my favorite role to play was I played this great NYPD detective on Power. It's a show on Stars.
Yeah.
With Omari Hardwick, and this guy takes no shit off of anybody. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see it up there. You know, I post it every once in a while because it's still my favorite scene. You know, you know, this one of the main characters, played by Andy Bean, comes rolling. He's a Fed, and he comes rolling into my crime scene, right? and we're standing around for hours waiting for this. Like I say, oh, this is the asshole that's been, you know, keeping us out in the cold all day, or whatever, And it was one of those things where this is my site. This is my crime scene, and like I didn't give him an inch. And it was and he was awesome. He just threw down with me, and we were like. And my final line in the scene was, he walks off. I'm like, feds, fucking idiots, you know. And like, but it was it was great. And the director had told me after, they almost cut that line when they were editing, but they kept it. And I was like. That made him a character, not just like because oftentimes when you're a co-star, it's kind of you're just facilitating the story.
You're just delivering the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just exposition or whatever it is. But they really allowed me to make this guy a character,
and they gave you the freedom to just kind of
absolutely.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was great, and it was so much fun.
I think I'd be so nervous, like, to have the freedom, but if you feel it, man, you just feel it.
Do you know the show Strike Back on Cinemax?
No.
Oh, great show. It was about these two Spec Ops guys, you know, whatever. But the former executive producer and lead director on the show, MJ Bassett, directed this episode of Power. And that was, and Strike Back was like my favorite show. So it was really awesome to work with her and stuff. So that was a great experience.
How do you know when you're on a set and the director or even just the writers or whatever are going to give you the freedom to just kind of be free with the character, or you know, like keep it in the same zone of it, but have some fun with it, you know?
Well, you can feel it out in the rehearsal, you know. And look, there isn't, you know how it is. There isn't a lot of rehearsal, man. You're like, all right, you're going to stand here, you're going to stand here, blah, blah, blah. This is the way we're setting it up.
Yeah.
And go. You know? But you can kind of feel it out. In the kind of roles I'm in, I'm not as presumptive to say, oh, I'm gonna make this show about me,
right?
You know, because it's not that. And oftentimes the script gives you clues. So, and that guy, the line was, you know, feds, fucking idiots. This is the asshole. It's, you know, it's been keeping us out here freezing our ball sacks all day. The guy's a character. Yeah. So you know, it's all in the script, so I can bring it. Yeah. And to be able to do that rather than just, well, we found the body at 9:45 this morning, and you know, so.
Yeah, you had to give life to it.
Exactly, and so when when it's so obviously a green light to just run with it. You know, I love that.
That's so fucking rad.
So freeing, and just you really kind of get to express, which is great.
Yeah, no, that's great. And, I've seen scenes, like I've got the best acting classes right now of my life.
Dude, you're on set.
What I mean? I'm on set, and I'm watching everyone do their thing, and I'm watching them go through it. I'm watching take after take and how they changed a little bit, tweak one thing, or raise the inflection of their voice, and see how much some small movement changes the whole scene.
Right.
And it's freaking brilliant, and I noticed that, especially being in a big ensemble cast, right? You have to be the team player.
Yeah.
You have to be. You know what I mean? And certain times when to be selfish, right? When it's your turn to be selfish, like that's your time. And then know the rest of it is just supporting your cast.
Absolutely.
And it's this crazy cool thing though, but it's like it reminds me so much of military, right? Of like knowing when you're in charge, and then also allowed yourself to follow someone when they're in charge. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I see it sometimes on set. And especially my character, I'm there to really facilitate the information, because we're still developing.
Yep.
Right. But I know that, right? And I'm in a support position right now, and I love that, right? Because I just want to make sure that I'm giving them every face, every emotion I can, even if I'm not on camera, to give them the opportunity to feel their emotion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've never, you hear stories about actors that won't shoot the other side of a scene or whatever. I've never run into that.
Right.
I've only, I've been fortunate to work with very generous actors.
I would say, but it's funny. I think we saw a little bit of that on Range 15, because we weren't taken serious by some of the more serious actors.
Yeah.
And a few of them kind of just like didn't give it to you.
Yeah.
And those of you listening, like when you're filming a conversation between two people, it's usually the camera's on one side of the person, and so the person that the camera's on gets all the looks, right? So they're in it, and then the other person who's off camera can either act it out in full, or kind of just at least throw the lines at you. And when someone just throws the lines at you, you're really not getting the full intent of the message, and so it's kind of hard to give back, right?
I mean, like I said, I've been fortunate not to run into that, but
it happens a lot.
Understand how that's, it can be off-putting. So that way you have to have your performance already in mind.
Yeah.
I like to work very organically and just like play off the energy that the other person's giving me. But if
they're not giving it to you, you still have to perform.
Yeah,
because then it's your fault.
It's got to make sense.
Yeah, but it's also your fault if you don't come through. You know what I mean?
Dude sucks.
Yeah, like, man, why isn't he performing? Like, well, because he's not. Like, no, motherfucker, that's not how it goes. The camera's on you.
Yeah.
So it's this interesting, very, very. It's a teamwork thing, man. If it shows success, it becomes how much you guys work well as a team. Mm-hmm. It's been crazy, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm still learning a ton. Every time I'm on set.
I love it. It's been so exciting for me just to be there and just watch and like the cool people that are just part of the show now. It's just those guys have so many years of experience that it's fun to watch how they do things, right? Yeah. And everyone does it different. You know what I mean?
Sure, everybody's got their own little process or
their
whatever.
style. Yeah,
there's some similarities. If you got like two Meisner guys, they're going to be similar. But even then, it's all down to the individual.
You got Meisner, and then there's Method.
Well, there's Method, there's Strasberg.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a I guess a few different schools.
So the people
Meisner is the one that spoke to me. And
so the guys that are listening right now, they're probably interested in acting and don't understand some of those terminologies. You want to explain that?
Yeah. Well, look, I would just recommend that they do a little research. If you're looking into getting into acting, look at Lee Strasberg, look at Meisner, look at Uta Hagen. There's so many, just Google great acting teachers.
Yeah.
And the stuff is old, but it's still around because it was good.
Yeah.
And it's a great blueprint. And so decide which one speaks to you.
Yeah.
And Meisner was the one that spoke to me the most, although I'll use whatever works.
Yeah.
Like we were saying earlier before the podcast, steal like an artist, right?
Yeah.
It's not stealing if you make it your own.
Right. There was a quote that Danny Pino told me, and it was a beautiful quote, but it's pretty much saying like if you make it your own or you disguise it so much that it looks like it's yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you see certain things in actors that are like, oh, that's so brilliant. You know what I mean? And like tone of voice, the way they look, postures, like all these different things that you start kind of turning into your own character, and that becomes your kind of trademark thing. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like stealing notes or stealing little licks or whatever from a guitar player. You're like when Eddie Van Halen started doing the tapping thing, and then you got guys who would just all they do is tap, for 5 minutes in a solo. and you're like, it's not as interesting as somebody who might throw it in a little bit here or whatever. But they make it their own, you know what I mean? So I kind of like to think of it as music a little bit. You know, when I was playing music, I stole from Johnny Ramone, and I stole from Chuck Berry, and I stole from Pete Townsend.
I was going to segue right into music, and this is it right here.
And so I kind of still do that with my acting. You know, I don't know if I could pinpoint any one thing, but I've immersed myself in enough films and television shows where that things that have impressed me, I'm sure they're rattling around in there
100%.
somewhere. You know what I mean?
100%. No, that's great.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about music, that's pretty much your first love, huh?
No. Dude, I went to New York to be an actor, bro. I didn't
know that.
Yeah, I fell into a band by accident.
Really?
Well, not by accident, but it was just, I wanted to be an actor since I'm a kid. You know, I was doing all community theater and acting in high school and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm going to the Marines. I'm getting out and I'm being an actor.
No way. Why the Marines though? Why did you just? It's just part of.
Well, dude, when I went to boot camp, I was 130 pounds. Yeah. I was like 5'10". I was this little slip of a thing, and I wanted to serve my country. It was important to me.
Right.
But I chose the Marines because I knew I needed a kick in the ass, and I was a joker, so I knew it would freak out my friends.
Yeah.
You know, if I joined the Marines, because I was so tiny, But you know, I made it through and served my 4 years, but still to this day, see, I'm not a combat veteran, you know, so it's like to this day, just earning the title Marine. And
it's huge. It's an honor.
Well, not only that, but for me, it was like, okay, dude, if you set your will to it, you can do it.
It's funny you say it because for me, it was probably, I felt like it was the one thing I've actually successfully signed up to do and did. Right? I did it. I actually I went through with something and committed to something because like for me, I didn't commit to any job. I was just like, I played baseball and everything else was just whatever happens.
Right.
And I felt like that was like the most mature commitment I made for myself that I needed to tell myself like, oh yeah, you can commit to stuff. You can get through things. You know?
Yeah.
That's cool. And so then from there.
So when I got out of the Marines, I went to New York to be an actor.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what I was doing, you know?
Well, doesn't acting in New York is more theater. Right.
Well, I mean, they shoot television shows there as well, you know, but it's world renowned for its theater, of course. But I was looking to get into TV and film, and I was from New Jersey, so I figured, it's nearby, you know. But if everything goes straight to hell, at least Mom, But so I went to New York and I did some stand-up comedy at first because. Yeah. It was something that I could do immediately. Like
stand-up comedy.
You bring two friends, you can get on stage, you know? So I started writing material and getting up on stage. And but that's a tough
oh my
biz,
God.
bro.
I just had Jamie Keller on it and I talked to him offline about comedy and that is immediate feedback right away.
Oh yeah.
And that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. I had fun at first, but the tedium of showing up and then constantly getting, I'd be down at like Boston Comedy Club down in the Village or whatever, and okay, I signed up and now I'm sixth. Okay, great, I'm sixth. And then like Jay Moore would show up, or Louis C.K., Mark Maron, or Jon Stewart, or whoever. This is back, early '90s. And you just keep getting bumped, which is, look, I get it.
Yeah.
They're there to make money and make people laugh, not to have amateurs, go up there. But at the time, it's frustrating. And so, I'd be there all night and then maybe not even get on, and at that point I'm drunk, So, I remember one night I just had a bad night and I fucking stormed out and I was like, I'm fucking quitting this shit.
Yeah.
And Mark Maron was out front and he's like, hey, what's up, man? I said, nah, fuck this. I'm done with this crap. And he started talking to me though,
Yeah.
And he goes, well, dude, you change your material every night. And I'm like, well, yeah, I want to make you guys laugh. He's like, look, the audience is different every fucking night, man. Just keep, if something works, keep using it, But I always knew that, if you get the comedians that were hanging out in the back, if you get them to laugh, then you're doing some good work, you know. I stormed off, and I never went back. But I always did appreciate him kind of taking that time to try to set me straight,
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't even know me from Adam at this, whatever. But. Nice fella. Anyway.
That's great comedy, huh?
Yeah, so then I met a guy who was putting together a band. We were going to bring punk back in '92.
Yeah, and you've always played music?
Pretty much, yeah. I started playing guitar. I got my first guitar for my 8th grade graduation.
Oh, okay.
1982.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing ever since.
Year after I was born.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm an old man. Like an A.A. Cunningham. No, this is the first. Who was the grand old man of the Marine Corps? I can't remember anymore. A.A. Cunningham was the first Marine aviator. No, I can't remember.
No idea.
Yeah, it's been a long time, kids. It's been a long time. Can't remember the grand old man of the Marine Corps.
So he was filming? Your buddy?
Yeah. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. What were we talking about?
We were talking about how your first guitar. You got it in 1982.
1982. So I went to New York to try to be an actor.
Yeah.
Right. I did some
band
stand-up comedy. Met a guy who was trying to bring punk back in '92. Nobody was getting signed out in New York back then, but it was the grunge era, you know. So we were like, oh man, we got to bring back punk. And so we put together this little outfit, and we played together with a couple of changes in roster for about 10 years.
No shit.
We used to play CBGB all the time and stuff like that. It was a famous punk rock club.
Okay.
You know? And I met my wife at CBGB, as a matter of fact. CBGB is like the birthplace of the Ramones, the Blondie, Talking Heads. It's like the Whiskey a Go-Go. You know,
and why didn't you guys pop off?
I don't know. Well, you know what? We were going for a couple of years, and then all the stuff out of Orange County hit, like Green Day and all this stuff. So we were kind of behind the curve.
Yeah.
And like I said, nobody was getting signed out of New York then.
Yeah.
So, we made a good run at it. We went as long as we could.
Yeah.
And then we had a breakup, and we started a new band with a lot of the same guys, and put out a record, and we were just put it out ourselves. You know, we didn't have a record contract. And then that was it. That was done.
What did you do in the band?
Play guitar.
You played guitar. Did you do vocals as well?
I do some backup vocals, and there was 2 songs that I wrote that I would sing every once in a while. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But I've written 2 songs.
Yeah.
We played them both. I'm not a prolific songwriter at all. We were fortunate to have a great songwriter in the band, and everybody was great, man. My buddy Pete Sophie was just a phenomenal bass player.
And even study music?
I don't know. Me and the singer don't. We kind of had a parting of ways.
Yeah.
Me and the bass player are still friends, but we talk every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think he's just doing his thing.
Everyone's
he's married.
everyone's doing their own life.
Yeah, man. We're all
life
old
gets
now.
busy, dude.
I'm 50.
Yeah. Life takes over.
It's a young man's game.
Life takes over, man.
Yeah,
you do karaoke ever?
Maybe.
We're gonna have to go do karaoke, dude.
I haven't got. You know what? I've done it like somebody had it at their party.
Oh yeah,
or
at a
something
house.
like that. Yeah, like I sang Love Shack with
that's a great
with the
one.
lead singer of the Dixie Chicks.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Wow,
Totally did.
How'd
It was
that
awesome.
happen?
Crushed it too. Well, it was at her house.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
Adrian Pazdar and Natalie Maines were married at the time, and Adrian's known my wife for 30 years,
No
35
way.
years, and
That's great.
So I got to sing with lead singer Dixie Chicks. It was awesome.
That's freaking outstanding. That's cool. And you still play guitar? You still
all
play
the time.
Yeah,
Every day.
You posted a video. Was it your anniversary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a little Springsteen song for the wife.
Yeah.
All that heaven will allow.
That was nice. You got a good voice.
Oh, thanks, bro.
I like it.
I don't
It's good.
fancy myself a singer, but yeah, I can carry a tune.
No,
a
it's
little bit.
cool. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Cool, man.
So let me ask you about acting, man. That's because you're an actor and I'm an actor, and I just think a lot of people love to hear just different things about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just like these episodes when I'm speaking to other actors because I think because I'm doing it, I'm learning so much. I always have all these questions. But for you as an actor, is there a role out there that you would love to try, something that's maybe different, or is there? Think of any TV show out there. Is there a character you're like, man, that would have been fun to play that character?
Oh man, that's funny. When I was a young man, I was like, I would have liked to have remade Willy Wonka.
No way.
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, I loved.
You'd want to be Willy Wonka?
Yeah, man.
No.
Gene Wilder and Dick Van Dyke were like the 2 big inspirations when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And we talked about this over lunch today, where like they brought me so much joy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, when I first was going to get into acting, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make people laugh and feel happy and whatever. And then, later, I think I realized just the power in being able to make people feel, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
That's what was so attractive to me.
No, I agree.
It's a powerful thing, man.
It's a trip. I've always, I guess, since the military, I've kind of chased the adrenaline rush of danger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I actually sit there and have this feeling like, man, I want something to go down so I can use my skill sets and help, right? Like this
absolutely.
weird mindset for years. I'm trying to put myself in places where there might be something where I can actually step up and do my job, what I've been trained for so many years. For so many years, I swear to you, I wanted to like I'm okay with dying in a firefight as long as I'm doing the right thing, right? As long as I'm trying. And it's this weird mindset, but it was like, so I'd always risk everything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, in the Border Patrol, I was looking for the trouble. Like, let's go find it. You know, and I've continued as a just being a firefighter on a reserve team. I was trying to freaking jump into a building. Let's go. That's like it was this chase that I could never fill. And then doing the YouTube stuff, man, it just started to feel like, man, like people are enjoying it. People are inspired by it. People are reaching out and saying how much you're changing things for them overseas. They have something they can focus on. I mean, for some reason that like those messages just filled me with energy, and I was like, no, fuck that. That is more exciting than running into a burning building. That's more exciting than trying to get into this firefight and be the hero. Like for me, it was exciting to just like have people react that way in anything that I created. Yeah,
and there like there is a there is a feeling of power, for lack of a better term. Yeah. It's like I made that happen. Yeah, you know, and it's done through giving of yourself. You know what I mean? Dude, it's giving a part of your emotion or part of your soul or whatever to a performance, and to have it impact somebody especially in a positive way, but in just a way that makes them feel alive, inspired, fun.
Absolutely. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's just like to just make someone feel something. Like that's been my new thrill.
Yeah, dude. It's and that's why I really I relish these the few times. A lot of my stuff has been kind of a lot of the work I've done has been just kind of helping move the story along. Right. So I guess getting back to your question of like when what kind of role I'd want a role that something hangs on. Yeah. You know what I mean? That like something in the story really hangs on. And like I'm still relatively young in my career.
100%.
You know, I mean I came out here when I was 36 years old.
Yeah. I just turned 38. And I was mine's first time.
I've been doing this 14 years.
No, but it's like mine for me was 36 as well when I started.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And God bless you, man. You've had so I love seeing the success that you've gotten, man, which is so awesome. And so you know what? Yeah, dude. That'd be nice. That's the role I want.
Yeah, man. There's roles out there that I think of that I make, man. Like we talked about at lunch again. We had a good conversation. We should just record our lunch conversation.
Yeah, we really should have. We got into some shit though. Yeah. You know, but which isn't for everybody.
Right. The political arguments and everything else. But the Heath Ledger as Joker is one of those characters where I'm too intimidated to take something like that, right?
Like there.
That's one of those ones where I'm like, oh man, if they asked me, I would have been like, I don't know if I can pull that one off, right?
Well, look, I don't know if any of us will get to the point where we could pull it off, right? But you'll get to the point where it won't intimidate you. Yeah, you'll want to do it.
Sounds freaking exciting, but scary as hell.
Here's one for you. I think I want to play a bad guy.
Yeah,
and that's something I've been working on because I
like a serial killer.
Something.
Yeah,
like because I have something I've been working on in class. I still go to class.
You still study.
Something I've been working on in class is cruelty. Like I have difficulty accessing that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I try to pull from genuine emotions and stuff like that, and
that's from Meisner, right?
Yeah, right. And you can use substitutes and all that stuff, but even then, it's like I have difficulty being aggressive or bad for bad reasons. Yeah. And so I've been working on that, and I'm making some really strong headway, which is nice because I'm finding it easier to access that and really bring that in a genuine way as opposed to putting it on. Right. Anybody can put it on.
Yeah. It's not genuine that way.
Like. An example I like to use is playing that detective on Power. Yeah, I can be a hard ass then because I'm defending my turf. I feel like I'm right. Yeah, but to be a character who's possibly just being psychologically abusive to somebody or something like that.
Intentionally doing that to someone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For no other reason than like
Just
the thrill of it or something like that.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. I currently struggle with that.
Yeah.
However, I'm working on it and I'm getting better at it.
No, the cool thing is that you've identified that, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm still learning that I haven't even identified some of the weaknesses. I know I have them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know timing is really weird for me because the timing in comedy in YouTube is different than real TV.
Oh, yeah.
And so...
Well, YouTube, you got to hit it quick.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's a different kind of comedy, and I'm comfortable with that kind of comedy. I'm comfortable with my Instagram comedy.
Right.
But delivering comedy on a network television, I feel like I've fallen flat. Like, and I've heard, it didn't work. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's different.
It's tricky.
It's different.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of comedy. I thought for sure when I was a kid that I would be the next, I don't know, a comedic actor. You know? And my career has not even come close to that. And I have had a couple of auditions for comedic stuff, and I was like, ooh, I need to work on this muscle because I haven't touched it in a long time.
It's different. And that's the thing, Jamie Keller, he's brilliant in it. Yeah. Jamie's brilliant in it. Have you seen some of Jamie's stuff? I think you got to, he's really cool. We got to actually have lunch with him sometime because I think you guys, dude, he's the comedy side of you to me. He's just a comedy dude, and he's a Navy guy, and your roles are very, very similar, and your character is such strong. His is like that, but in the comedy side.
I gotta meet this guy.
He's always landing these comedy roles,
That's
and you're
awesome.
like, it's always the same kind of. And his fucking delivery is like, God, he's so good.
Yeah.
And that guy I always watch, like, man, his timing is great, and I'm missing that. And I felt like it would be easy for me coming from the comedy side of fucking everything else. And no, it's fucking miserable. Yeah. And like to be serious, like that's easy for me for some reason. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. It's like I would love to be challenged to have an emotional scene. Yeah. Like
sure.
I want to
be a grieving dad or something like that.
Oh my God, bro. Man. Let me the whole time just break everyone's heart. That's what I would love to challenge myself to do that. Yeah. That's something I'm looking for.
Look, that hasn't come my way yet, but I have no problem accessing that.
Me neither.
I don't see it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been given an opportunity yet.
Right.
But I could do that standing on my head.
It's a chance, and maybe it's something. Maybe it's me wanting to show more sides of what I can do, my range. You know what I mean? That's what I'd love to show.
I get that. Oh, look, dude, I would, like I said, I would take that in a heartbeat. If somebody wants to give me a grieving dad role or something like that,
bro, I cried during freaking America's Got Talent when they hit the golden buzzer. I cried, bro.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, it ain't hard to access emotions. I'm just like,
phone commercial. Sorry, the phone commercial got me.
Those puppies that are hungry in freaking Africa. I'm like, oh. Well, dude, we're at 51 minutes, man.
Wow,
dude, this is how it goes. It's just a conversation.
All right.
Yeah, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about, man? Anything man. You can throw anything you want, man.
What do we want to talk about? You know, I guess let's kind of touch on some of the stuff we were talking about at lunch.
Okay.
About how it really is on the individual to kind of change your circumstance.
So we had a conversation. I'm working on this. I'm working on something. I've been writing. It's like it talks about my family.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess what I did was sit back and kind of look at my mom's life, and look at my dad's life, and then look at my life, and then look at my kids' lives, and kind of identify that no one has been stuck in their situation if they've believed they can do more. I guess it is, right? Like,
right. We were wondering what is it in some people that when these little choices come up in life to either stay comfortable or
risk
for something better.
Yeah.
What is it that keeps...
Not necessarily something better, just something different.
Well,
right?
Well, you'd hope, at least I hope, whenever I take a risk, and it's pretty often, it's for something better.
100%, right, correct.
It's not so much that I'm bored.
No,
it's that I have my eyes on something else.
You know there's more out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what is it in some people? Is it ingrained in them? Is it taught to them? Is it just something that they're wired that way, where it keeps them on one side of the line most of the time? Because nobody's, every time, risk averse, and one person's risk taker. But most of the time, people will either go one way or the other, and that determines the outcome of your life.
Big time. It's like that fork in the road.
Absolutely.
Is that fucking
But
twice?
it happened so many times over the course of our lives.
That's the dude. It's like I can tell you several times where I'm like, oh yeah, I took the hard way this one on purpose.
Right.
100%. Like, yeah, I can stay on this path. I can continue to do this
And be comfortable.
And be comfortable and not experience and but stay in this bubble where I know it's safe.
Yeah.
But there will be no. Like with risk comes reward, right? There will be no reward if I stay on this path. It'll be just very simple, very, very basic.
I'll survive.
And I'll survive. And I might not genuinely be happy, but I'll be comfortable and know it's safe.
Right.
And then there's like, but if I take this fucking right, if I take this right turn, there could be fucking so much experience but with that comes like you don't know, right? Like, I don't know. I'm going to try. There's no guarantees. But fuck, right? And people don't take that.
No, they don't.
They don't take that. Like, me walking away from the Border Patrol was that. That's a career. I had 7 years banked. I'm in the best place I could ever be. I'm on the best freaking national team. And to walk away from that, it was because of those messages I got, right? And thinking like, there's more out there for me that is more fulfilling, but it's not easy getting into the acting and arts world and being successful. Right. I could pay my bills now. I was paying my bills. Hey, we're good. I had a retirement. I was doing the basic thing that your dad tells you, like, get a job, get a retirement.
Yeah. Start putting it away.
You need it for the future. And so I'm like, okay, Dad, let's do it. And then I got to that point, like, that doesn't sound fun anymore. It doesn't sound. It's so safe. But it's also like, okay, I did it, and that's it. There's got to be more for me. There's got to be more that I can do. And then getting these messages is when I did, I'm taking the risk.
Yeah.
And what is it that put that in me, though?
I don't know what it was. Same way with me. Where I made my wife. I didn't make.
Right.
I convinced my wife. I can't make my wife do anything. You kidding me? I convinced my wife to quit her job. She had a good job in advertising. And I was wrecking it in voiceovers, meaning like doing well. And I said, no, I'm going to go to Los Angeles, be an actor, even though I've never done it in my life. But because I was like, I want it, and like I guess part of what we were talking about before was even worse was people that are in bad situations, but they're comfortable in bad situations and they're afraid to take that step because they'll lose what little they think they have. And I'm like, Dan and I. That's why she's another reason she's a perfect partner for me, because we're always like, we got to sell the house, whatever. We'll start again somewhere else.
I became comfortable with making myself uncomfortable if I had to for a little while to get out of a situation.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time, like I said, my first marriage was 10 years, dude.
Yeah.
10 years of I knew it was done after one. Like, I knew in my heart, I was like, this isn't for me. But, when you're young and you make these weird decisions, like, okay, well, another kid will fix things, right? And
that is the worst.
And these weird decisions.
Or if you got a crappy relationship, you're like, if I get engaged, it'll make it better.
Right.
Or, when we get married, it'll be better. When we have a kid.
My lack of experience in life, and I was thinking like, well, this is going to be good for my daughter because us being together is better for the kids.
Yep.
Bullshit. It took me how long to finally say, we're done. It's not going to work. Like, we ended it. And I was so mad at myself, like, why did I give anyone that long? Like, why did I sit there that long in that uncomfortable situation? Because it was embarrassing to tell people I failed at a marriage.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to tell the kids, like, it wasn't working. Like, all those fears is what held me there for so many years.
Sure.
And I just couldn't, I didn't want to risk that. You know what I mean? And when I finally did, like, man, I think now it's almost too easy where I'm like, man, I'll change everything I need to.
What was I thinking?
Yeah. I can move. That's when I moved to Utah.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. I'm not stuck fucking anywhere, dude. I can do anything.
Right.
What's going to be best for the family? Boom, we're out of here.
See, that's why me and you are simpatico, man. I think, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Dan and I can start over anywhere. With our son, and just pull up the stakes, sell the house, whatever, go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Montana.
Cool.
Whatever. I don't know. But we'll make it work.
Right.
Because that's what we do. We survive and we thrive.
I tell you, as long as we're together, we're good.
Exactly.
As long as we're together, we're good.
I know we're hard up against it. So I do want to encourage your listeners to check out my wife's TED Talk.
Yeah, it's a great one.
She has a great TED Talk about what we're talking about, hitting the reset button, being able to like cut cut ties and just be like, all right, I need to start over.
In airborne, say cut sling load.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, you know, this real quick though. This comes from whatever situation you're in, you can change it.
Absolutely.
You can absolutely fucking change it. Whatever your economic fucking situation, whatever it is, you can change it. There's going to be sacrifices made. There's going to be hard decisions you have to take.
There will be ramen.
Yes, there will be ramen. But I swear to you, if you wanted to change your life tomorrow, you could.
That's
you
right.
had to just
Nobody
make that
can
decision.
stop you.
Nobody. There's no way this fucking dude should be acting on TV, bro.
I've seen your work.
Yeah.
No.
Had better days on YouTube.
Yeah, baby. No, I'm kidding, man.
Tell us where to find your wife's TED Talks.
On
You're
YouTube.
going to have to spell her name, dude.
Her name is Dana Commandatore. That's why I let her keep it. Commandatore.
Hell yeah.
She's the best. Dana Commandatore. It's called Hitting the Reset Button on Life, I think.
Yeah, and it's great. I think it's only about 7 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
Something like that. Yeah, 8 minutes.
She's fantastic, and it's real, and it's a great message, and anybody can do it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's exactly what we were talking about today. And this is a great conversation. I appreciate it, man.
Dude, I'm glad we finally got a chance to sit down and throw down a little bit.
Well, tell the listeners where they can find your social media and everything else.
Instagram is That's Michael Broderick. That's Michael Broderick on Instagram, and that'll lead you to my Facebook page, facebook.com/actor Michael Broderick. Go check it out, take a look, and I don't know, maybe hit like.
There you go. Like, share, follow, all those above. All right, guys, we're out. Later.